big news we are tracking at DD India News. This time, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh has been assassinated in Iran's Tehran. In a statement, Hamas mourned the death of Haniyeh, who it said was killed in a treacherous Zionist raid on his residence in Tehran. The Revolutionary Guards confirmed that the residence of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran was struck in the morning, resulting in his and one of his bodyguards' death. Revolutionary Guard said the cause is under investigation and will be announced soon. Hamas officials termed it as a grave escalation, saying the assassination of Haniyeh will not achieve its goals. The Hamas chief attended Iran's new president's swearing-in ceremony on Tuesday. And in April this year, Haniyeh's three sons, Hazim, Amir and Mohammed, were killed after the car they were driving in was bombed in Gaza's Al-Shati camp. Two of Haniyeh's grandchildren were also killed in the attack and a third was wounded. Also, Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas leader who was killed in Iran, was the tough talking face of the Palestinian group's international diplomacy. Haniyeh was seen by many diplomats as a moderate compared to the more hardline members of the Iran-backed group inside Gaza. Haniyeh was an early advocate of Hamas entering politics. Appointed to the Hamas job in 2017, Haniyeh moved between Turkey and Qatar's capital Doha, escaping and enabling him to act as a negotiator in Gaza ceasefire talks. Three of Haniyeh's sons were killed on April 10th. When an Israeli airstrike struck their car. Israel regards the entire Hamas leadership as terrorist and has accused Haniyeh of continuing to pull the strings of the Hamas terror organization. Israel accused Haniyeh's leadership team of helping to divert humanitarian aid to the group's military wing. Hamas denied it. Haniyeh had met officials in Egypt, which has also had a mediation role in the ceasefire talks. Haniyeh traveled in early November to Tehran to meet Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And Palestinian President Abbas strongly condemned Haniyeh's assassination. Palestinian factions have called for general strike, mass demonstrations after Hamas chief killed in Tehran. And Sarah Coates now joins us from Tel Aviv for more. Well, Sarah, Israel itself did not immediately comment, but it often doesn't when it comes to assassination carried out by the Mossad intelligence agency. But Hamas also described the strike as severe escalation that would not achieve its goals. What's the latest?
Hello there. We still don't have any comment from the Israelis on the assassination of Hamas's Politburo chief Ismail Haniyeh. We do know that right now the senior Israeli officials, they're huddling, a lot of high-level meetings taking place. So we can potentially expect some movement over the next few hours. But on the ground right now, the IDF's Home Front Command has put out a statement saying that there's been no change to its directive to Israelis, although that will be updated if there is any change. But of course, this is a very fragile time in the region, and this comes just hours after Israel did say it killed a senior Hezbollah leader in Beirut. That happened just after, or just around 8 p.m. local time last night. So certainly, once again, a very, very fragile time in the region. We have heard from the Revolutionary Guards in Iran saying that there will be retaliation. There are also reports coming out saying that Haniyeh was killed by a missile that was fired from outside Iran. So still, of course, this is a developing story, and we will gather more information as the day goes on.
All right, Sarah, very fragile time indeed. There were concerns of war between Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah following a rocket attack on the Israel-annexed Golan Heights. And Israel also struck Hezbollah's stronghold in southern Beirut in retaliation for the Golan strike. And Israel had vowed to kill Ismail Haniyeh, seen as a moderate though, and destroy the Hamas group. How do we see all this building up?
Well, Israel's war goals, this is one of Israel's war goals, and that was to completely eradicate Hamas, to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth. So certainly a lot of tension here in the region. There is, of course, the war going on in Gaza, there is, of course, as well, this heightened escalation on Israel's northern border there with Lebanon. What we've been seeing for the past 10 months now are these daily tit-for-tat cross-border strikes between Israel and Hezbollah. So once again, an extremely fragile situation. Israel still hasn't come out to comment on this assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. What we do know is that he was actually in a residential block. He was there to attend the inauguration of Iran's president-elect.
Yes.
So this has really thrown the region into even more chaos. Now, we have heard the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin speaking out. He says that if Israel were to be attacked, then the United States will defend it. So going forward throughout the day, what we can expect to see again are these very, very high-level meetings here in Israel. Of course, many, many meetings, many calls between senior Israeli and US officials as they really assess this situation and what to do next.
All right. Sarah, if we talk about the Iran-Hamas relations, the US and Israel accuse Tehran of having a hand in the attacks, and Iran rejects this, but its support for Hamas is well known. What is Tehran's relationship with the Palestinians, and where does Iran fit into the complex matrix of geopolitics in the Middle East? What's next for Iran's axis of resistance?
Well, we do need to remember that Hezbollah, also Hamas, which Ismail Haniyeh was the Politburo chief, they are all proxies of Iran. So, of course, they have a very, very close relationship. And we do need to remember what we were hearing from Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, during that congressional address about a week or so ago. He was standing there in front of Congress talking about this axis of resistance. He said that Iran and these proxies are the greatest threat to the West. So, of course, Israel has been threatening to target all of these high-level Hamas leaders like Ismail Haniyeh, also Yahya Sinwar, who is the head of the military wing. He is based in Gaza, and this is why the Israelis have really been moving down into these southern areas like Khan Yunis, like in Rafah. They've been targeting these tunnel systems, as that is where Israel believes the head of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, Yahya Sinwar, is hiding. So this would certainly throw the region into more chaos now that Ismail Haniyeh has been assassinated in Tehran, and we are waiting, of course, to see what the Israelis have to say about that in the coming hours.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for all that update from Tel Aviv. And moving on, Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated today, and Haniyeh assassinated in Iran's Tehran. One of Haniyeh's guard also was killed in the attack. Iran had said that the cowardly act will not go unpunished. On the other hand, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has strongly condemned Haniyeh's killing and considered it a cowardly act and a dangerous development. Palestinian factions call for general strike and mass demonstrations. On the other hand, Russia called for killing of Hamas leader unacceptable. According to the sources, Iran's Supreme National Security Council, with the presence of senior commanders of the guards, convened early Wednesday around 2 a.m. local time to discuss the assassination of Haniyeh, where he was staying in a special residence for war veterans in Tehran. Also, as per Israel Broadcasting Corporation, Ismail Haniyeh was killed by a rocket fired from a country outside Iran, not from Iranian airspace. Meanwhile, US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has said that he does not think war is inevitable in Middle East. He added that if Israel is attacked, the US will help defend Israel. We'll work hard to make sure we are doing things to help bring the temperature and the escalation down.